All right, future toppers, let's get right into it. Welcome to this masterclass explainer. Today, we're taking Chapter 19, India After Independence, and turning it from a super dense, dry history lesson into an epic problem and solution survival story. This is your ultimate blueprint for grabbing maximum marks on your upcoming board exams. We're going to break down every single high-yield concept so you can walk into that exam hall feeling absolutely unstoppable. Here is your game plan for today. We're going to tackle 6 massive systemic bugs the new nation had to patch: post-partition nightmares, forming the government, integrating the 562 states, the big 3 boss battles, freeing Pondicherry and Goa, and finally, linguistic states. So let's kick things off with Section 1, post-partition nightmares, specifically communal riots and the refugee crisis. Imagine the British finally packing up on August 15, 1947. Sounds great, right? But the partition of India unleashed absolute chaos. Just look at this number, 6 million. That is 6 million refugees crossing borders into India, leaving literally everything behind. To put that into perspective, it's like the entire population of a major city suddenly needing shelter, jobs, land, and healthcare overnight. Talk about a massive burden for a brand new, struggling government. Okay, listen up, because examiners absolutely love this as a 2-mark question. When they ask about the major problems India faced right after independence, I want you to immediately write this mnemonic in the margin of your paper: RRGI. That stands for refugees, riots, government formation, and integration. Simple, right? The communal riots were actually so explosive that Mahatma Gandhi literally went to Calcutta, fasted, and read the Bhagavad Gita just to pray for people to let go of their violent passions and establish peace. Moving right along to Section 2, forming the new government, going from temporary rule to a full-blown republic. Now, to fix massive problems like that RRGI stuff, you need a seriously strong, functioning system. Imagine drawing this timeline out on a whiteboard. A temporary government steps up on August 15, 1947. Lord Mountbatten sticks around as Governor General, and Jawaharlal Nehru becomes the first Prime Minister. But the absolute game changer is January 26, 1950. That's when our Constitution was officially adopted. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar brilliantly chaired the drafting committee, and Babu Rajendra Prasad became the very first president. And hey, they specifically chose a parliamentary democracy over a presidential one, believing elected representatives were the absolute best way forward. All right, Section 3, integrating 562 princely states. This was Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's ultimate mission. So we've got a government formed, but geographically, it's like a giant scattered puzzle. The British didn't just leave one unified India. They left us with 562 separate princely provinces. Basically, imagine 562 chaotic group chats that our first Home Minister, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the Iron Man of India, had to magically merge into one massive national server. His secret weapon? The privy purse. Memorize this exact definition for the exam, guys. It was a special payment and status given to rulers based on their province's income in exchange for joining India under the 1947 Integration Act. It was basically a super clever financial incentive that totally worked for most, though it was eventually abolished later in 1969. Which brings us to Section 4, the big 3 boss battles: Junagadh, Hyderabad, and Jammu and Kashmir. Now, while the privy purse worked smoothly for most kings, 3 provinces put up a massive fight. These became Patel's ultimate integration boss battles, and you are pretty much guaranteed to see at least one of these on your exam. But hey, before we break them down, watch out for this common student mistake. Examiners love testing your vocabulary here. Do not, I repeat, do not confuse the Razakars with the tribals. The Razakars were the cruel private army of the Nizam of Hyderabad. The farmers in Telangana absolutely despised them and launched a massive revolt. Keep the Razakars strictly in Hyderabad and the Pakistan-incited tribals in Kashmir. Do not mix those up. Okay, take a mental screenshot of this table right here. This perfectly breaks down the who, what, and how for these 3 guaranteed exam topics. Let's look at Junagadh first. The king wanted to join Pakistan, but his own people protested in the streets. The king literally runs away, the Indian army marches in to keep the peace, and boom, it's officially merged in 1949. Next up, Hyderabad. The Nizam wanted independence and let loose those terrible Razakars we just talked about. The Indian military steps in, defeats him, and that's sorted in 1948. Finally, Kashmir. King Hari Singh wants independence, but Pakistan incites tribals to attack. Feeling the pressure, Hari Singh asks India for help. Our army pushes them back, and the UN eventually orders a ceasefire on January 1, 1949. Next up, Section 5, freeing Pondicherry and Goa. Time to evict the French and the Portuguese. So, the princely states are sorted, but the map still isn't completely clean. Even with the British gone, the French and Portuguese were still illegally camping out on Indian soil, acting like imperialist landlords. Let's handle the French first. Use this quick memory trick, PKMC. That stands for Pondicherry, Karaikal, Mahe, and Chandranagar. Thanks to relentless political struggles by the Congress, communists, and other groups, the French finally folded. These provinces gracefully joined India in 1954, with Pondicherry later becoming a union territory. The Portuguese in Goa, on the other hand, were a totally different story. Here's another massive trap to avoid for your exams. Pondicherry was liberated in 1954 through political protests, right? But Goa took until 1961 and required full-on step-by-step military intervention. In 1955, satyagrahis from all over India gather in Goa to demand liberation. The Portuguese respond by bringing in foreign troops from Africa and Europe to violently crush the movement. Finally, India says enough is enough, and in 1961, the Indian Army steps in, takes control, and officially evicts the Portuguese. Almost there. Section 6, linguistic formation of states, redrawing the map. All right, so all the land is totally secured. The very last puzzle, redrawing the internal borders so everyday people could actually understand the language used by their local government. Imagine the administrative chaos before 1956. Kannada and Telugu speakers were just scattered randomly across different provinces. People demanded language-based states, and the pressure was intense. It actually hit a tragic boiling point when Poti Srimurmulu went on a fast unto death for 58 days demanding a Telugu state and passed away in 1952. This forced the government's hand. They set up the Justice Fazl Ali Commission. Andhra Pradesh became the very first linguistic state in 1953. Following the commission's report, the State Reorganization Act of 1966 was passed, giving us 14 states and 6 union territories, and beautifully, all the Kannada-speaking areas were finally united, giving us our very own Mysore state on November 1st, 1956. Whew, take a deep breath. You have officially conquered Chapter 19. We just took a seriously dense, detail-heavy textbook chapter and decoded it into a high-scoring, logical blueprint for your public exams. You now understand the post-partition chaos, Sardar Patel's brilliant integration, and exactly how the modern map of India was drawn. But hey, before you pack up your notes, I'm throwing one final trap check question your way to make sure your brain is totally exam ready. Which territory required Indian Army intervention in 1961? Was it Pondicherry or was it Goa? Drop your answer in your notes right now. And as you do, think about this. Every time you cross a state line today and hear a new language or see a different culture, remember the massive chaotic puzzle it took to unite 562 different pieces into the one incredible country you call home. Keep studying smart, remember that RRGI trick, and you are absolutely gonna crush this exam.